We are here for the weekend roundup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. Every single Monday around 1 o'clock, Lev is kind of nice enough to grace me with his presence. Former Giuliani Trump insider turned award-winning whistleblower, truth teller. He's an author, Shadow Diplomacy. Get his book. Subscribe to his Substack. He's number 1, 2, or 3 in world politics every single week because he comes here and he tells the truth. And he tags in Canadians and he talks to people around the world, and he's the voice of Ukraine and the voice of common sense. And we're here to break it all down today as we watch Donald Trump literally blow himself in the middle of another press conference after he blew himself in a previous press conference. Where do you want to start today, buddy? Because we got Epstein, we got Maxwell, we got Ukraine, we got Canada, and then we have your former boss up there literally self-filleting at the very moment.
I mean, I don't even know where do you want to begin. I mean, he literally, called himself the president of Europe today.
Yeah.
Could start like that. So he's now not only the president of the United States, he's also now the president of Europe, whatever that means. I love right now that he's going to the press conference right now, and again, it's the same thing as well. You said they're going to meet Ukraine and Zelensky and Putin. Are they going to meet? Well, I'd love for them to have a meeting. I have a great relationship with Putin. They should have a meeting, but I don't know if they'll have a meeting, but they should have a meeting. It would be great for them to have a meeting. It's like, who's on fucking first? What's on second? He just left on third, and he's sliding into home. But what are we talking about here? Like, the guy is completely unhinged, and Putin's using that. That's why I wrote today in my Substack letter. For those of you who haven't got a chance to read it, make sure you do read it, because with all the funniness, it is pretty crazy. We've uncovered, some of our sources have broken it down to us also, and we'll get into it later. Also, Alex is going to join us from Ukraine. I asked him to join us later on.
Awesome. Good.
Second half. We'll talk a little bit more about a 30-day plan, which is he's putting into effect basically to, as he walks away from Ukraine, he's going to go, get closer to Vladimir Putin and open the doors up for Russia. You're seeing little smirks of it by him, basically, supposedly inviting him to FIFA. I mean, he really is. There are real, actual conversations about legitimizing Russia to the point where we might have Vladimir Putin sitting side by side with Donald Trump in New Jersey at the next FIFA championships. So that's, I know that sounds insane to start off with, but this is where we're at, folks. I mean, it's pretty insane. Also, for all of you there that follow, subscribe me, I know a lot of well wishes this weekend. I've been a little bit under the weather, wasn't able to go live as I promised I would the past couple of days, but I did try to put out some letters to make sure keep you guys informed. I am feeling a lot better, and there's a lot going on. This week is going to be, if we thought last week was a doozy, as I wrote in my previous Substack letter, last week was theatrics. This week, they're actually putting things into play, into motion, and things are happening from putting the National Guard, Washington, D.C., but now the plan is starting to mobilize. It's not just like I've been saying, Dean, and we've been talking about, it's not just about coming and stopping crime in D.C. It's about going out there and making it normalization where people are now used to seeing National Guard in their state, in their city. But now he's taking it to a step further, because now he's using it just like he used in the first election. That's one of the things I'm working on for my next breaking news story, is as he used immigration in his election, now he's starting to use the fear-mongering of state-by-state crime and manipulation. Because you have to understand, every state has crime, every city has crime, every town. It's just a level. Some have more, some have less, some have worse crime, some have less crime, but crime is crime. I'm saying to you, that's something that society fights with. It's a part of, we don't live in that perfect pure white picket fence world, whether we wish we did, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. So there is crime, and it's bad, and we should never normalize it. But that's what Donald Trump now is trying to do to the Democrats, because they're so, and when I say Democrats, folks, I want to make sure I'm talking about the leadership right off the bat, so this way we don't confuse.
Yeah, Democratic-led states and cities, right? Yeah, blue states and cities.
He's putting them into a corner, into a
Yeah.
box where he's going to have them defend criminals. He's going to
Mhm.
have them defend criminal, where he's going to go in there and basically say, "Well, you know what?" And this is the all the optics and the illusion, folks. I'm telling you this first here on Dean's show before we even got a chance to break this elsewhere. Is if I come in to your city or your state or your town with 2,000 National Guard troops and I put them all over town, I don't care where it is, crime will stop. It's going to stop.
Yeah.
They'll make some arrests, it'll stop. But now let's ask yourself this question. A, what happens when they leave? Because eventually they're going to leave, once the elections are over, once the show's done, once the cameras are gone, once he gets the glory for the poll numbers will come in and say crime has down. Once that's over, now they leave. Crime's going to double, triple, quadruple because, it's like that pent up volcano. It's like I keep saying, it's band aids. He puts band aids all over the place.
Mhm.
Or take the other option. If you like having that, do you really would like to live in a world or in a country where we have National Guard or a military state all over the place not to have crime? I mean, is that the solution? No, that's not the solution because, we live in a free country and, crime, yes, certain places need to get more attention to, but he's not going into those areas. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. He's not going into the hard written crime areas and putting the National Guard. He's putting it around like first of all,
Migrant neighborhoods. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Most of the neighborhoods already the crime is down, but but it's more like of a fluff of a show.
Mhm.
And again, this is also part of that project 2025 that I plan of election reform that I've been sounding the alarms with that he is using this now to go after some of the blue states and start messing and because listen, one thing he learned from Vladimir Putin and learned from dictators, and now today he's talking about King Jong Un, is that confusion and disruption and division is the number one thing for any dictator.
It's
And
your
he
best
actually
friend.
mentioned it today that
Yeah.
some people say he's a dictator. Maybe he wants to be a dictator.
Dude, did you see that part of the
You know,
interview? Like it was
you
the
want to
first
call me a
Oval Office thing.
dictator, authority.
No, he
I'm
he
cool with
goes,
that.
this is
Like,
this is what he said. It was fucking
insane,
stunning.
Dean.
It was in his first Oval Office presser this
I don't
morning.
hear you, Dean. We
Oh, you
lost
don't
you.
hear me? Hello, 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 hello.
I
Hang
don't
on
hear
a
you.
second.
We don't hear. I don't hear you.
You got me now?
No,
No?
nothing. Come
Nothing?
back, Dean.
No,
I
no, no,
see
no,
you. I
no.
don't hear
Hello,
you.
hello, hello, hello. Hang on just a second. Let me pull this up. Can you hear me now? You got me now. Hello, hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Oh, I hear you now. Now I hear you. Well, I don't
All
know what
right,
you.
all right. Let me plug back in. We got this. We got this. Let me plug back in. I got this.
Oh,
Hang on a second. Just give me a sec. We're coming back. You got me?
now I got you.
Nah, hey, look at that. A little unplug and plug back in. It's called the idiot stick. I have to hit it every time something happens. But to your point, is that shook me this morning because you said something earlier. It's to warm Americans up. This is to warm Americans up, get you acclimatized to the idea that a police state looks good on your city. Not just in D.C. and L.A., but he ordered 17 more cities to be invaded by his ICE goons, and he's setting up a specific rapid response squad to deal with
In Texas.
protests. If you saw that, but in that conversation, while he's talking about it, and I wanted your opinion, and you mentioned it. He's like, a lot of people ask me, "Are you a dictator? You want to be a dictator?" But we don't want a dictator. He's like, there's a lot of people that want a dictator in this country. And that was like, holy shit. It's here. He said it. Finally. Finally. Your thoughts.
Just exactly what you said. I mean, he's finally said as they say, the quiet thing out loud. I mean, people, when he says people say, that means that's what he wants, and
Mhm.
look,
Yeah,
even
people is him, they is him, just so you know.
yeah, even the fact that just what you saw him do yesterday and the way he calmly said like his answer. I mean, I'm trying to get over the fact that he just took 10% of Intel because he just felt like it, and we have to do business as a mob. I mean, I'm just thinking like like in what world? I mean, I don't think even in Russia it happens like that blatantly, like that openly. I mean, I'm just trying to think where else. Like, I mean, I think he's beyond dictator. I mean, even dictators try to make it look like everybody knows, but everybody's scared to talk about it.
Yeah.
With Trump, it's like no, it's like I gotta be foolish foolish not to. The guy wants to give me 10%. Why am I not going to take 10%? Well, because America should be that's partners with him because there's competition. There's
Yeah.
other companies that like. Why is everybody going to give you 10%, or is it now who gives you more? Like, what is the next step? Like,
And isn't that fucking communism at its core? Taking a piece of private companies and nationalizing them? Like, fuck, that's the other thing. Nobody said anything yesterday. I'm like, and he's like, I got Intel. Who doesn't take a piece of Intel when they're offering a piece of Intel? We got 10%. Didn't pay for it. And no one put up their hand and went, isn't that fucking communism, dude?
like to somebody tried to ask him that today. And this is the crazy part. Like they're scared to ask the question. Like then, no, and we're gonna get into the Epstein stuff and everything that nobody's already they're well, yeah. But like one reporter asked him, said, you know, you used to call Kamala Harris a communist, but isn't it communism kind of what you did? Like take it. He's like, no, no, that's totally different. What I did was business. He goes, I'm a businessman. Because I'm a businessman. He goes, I didn't take it for myself. I took it for the country. I took it for. He goes. He offered
That's
it.
communism.
No, but the best part, like he offered it, and I'm just sitting to myself, Dean, and thinking to myself, like, what would possess him to come in, the CEO of Intel, to come in and say, "Hey, let me give you 10%. Let's go farther."
Yeah.
I mean, and you know how Trump says, "I knew nothing about it." I mean, he proposed it. It was like, all right. I mean, nobody's. I mean, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. You gotta be a crazy nut not to. If somebody offered you, hey Dean, if I came offered you a Rolls Royce right now, would you take it for free? You wouldn't take it?
He did the same thing with the Qatari jet, right? $1 billion jet. Who doesn't take the jet, guys?
But this is going a step further now. See, this is how he always pushes it. This is the whole
Yeah.
great part. You know, the jet was like a prelude to what he just did. That's a great, and I'm glad you brought it up, Dean, because that's extremely important. People forget about it because when he did that with the jet, he doesn't care about the jet. I mean, the guys right now they made over $3-4 billion. He could buy these jets as man. He'll get more jets, and he's not even guys. He's just getting started. It's only been 6 months, and the family's made over $4 or $5 billion. Can you imagine what's going to happen in 3, 4, 5 years? I mean, I just can't even imagine the dollars. So it's not about jet. It's about preparing you. It's about normalizing you. It's about normalization. It's okay to take a jet. Now that's why nobody's having. That's why when you say, Dean, nobody just turned around and had a shit fit and said, "Hey, wait a second, that's communism," because he already did that. He already took the jet. Now he took a company. You know what I'm saying? Next thing,
We're warmed up.
Next thing he'll just say, Elon, I'm gonna take your company. You know what I'm saying to you? It's the whole company, not just 10%, but it's
the whole thing. Yeah. You know what? You underscore a couple of different things here, and talking about not just communism, but what he takes for himself, how he leverages the United States government, the industrial military complex, to his advantage, and what's important to him. And I wanted to kind of lean into these conversations a little bit with you, Lev, because of your tireless effort to bring awareness to the genocide going on in Ukraine. Voice of Ukraine. Alex is going to join us, your podcast or Substack Live partner. You guys do incredible work. We'll get to the GoFundMe in just a second as well. How people can help, Ukrainians on the front line, or just Ukrainians get hygiene packs, et cetera, et cetera. But what I saw this weekend was truly remarkable, because Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, made a surprise trip. He went to Europe to firm up a couple of really important security details. We'll get to what those are for Canada, for our allies, with our EU partners. And he slipped into Ukraine for Independence Day. And he stood shoulder to shoulder with Volodymyr Zelensky and announced $2 billion. $2 billion, and put squarely the responsibility for the illegal invasion of Ukraine at the feet of one Vladimir Putin. Squarely, something that Donald Trump hasn't done, and handed $2 billion immediately, right now, for armor, for drones, for tech, for anything that the Ukrainian government fucking needs. And I juxtapose that with the ongoing warm up, or the acclimatization that Donald Trump's, this war he's been on with Ukraine, to try to get people in the United States used to the idea that he doesn't want to be in Ukraine. It's okay for us to stop giving them money. It's okay for us to sell them munitions because we need to make money. And it's also really important we have a great relationship with Russia. Now, if you contrast that, I don't know if you watched any of Carney's speech. I put out a post at it, deanblundell.substack.com. Did you watch it?
I actually, Dean put a piece of it in my Substack. I was so taken by his speech. I put obviously because our president didn't make a speech or didn't say anything.
No,
So
didn't even acknowledge it.
in my Substack, exactly in my Substack this week, and I actually wrote about that how Canada stood strong and Carney, and put a piece of his speech in my Substack, and the support that you Canadians, the Canadian people. I mean, God bless each and every one of you. I mean, but listen. I mean, it's not just the Canadian people, Americans, Canadian. We're all good human beings. It's not one or the other. This is the crazy part. Sometimes I even catch myself saying it like it's you guys. We're all good. This is what Donald Trump does. Division.
Mm.
Tries to say, well, you guys did this or we did that, and it's like us against them, and turn it into that competitive because we all human beings are like have that animal instinct like competitiveness.
Sure.
Some a lot more than others, and that's why you see sports and you see the riots, and that's why you're able to get dictators, and you're able to get because they feed on that, and
Mm.
that's the whole part of it. And that's why even when we start having the conversation, I even catch myself sometimes doing it. So that's what I'm saying to you. But yeah, I wanted to touch on say what Carney did and the Canadian people do for Ukraine and the support. It's unwavering.
Mm.
It's like 100%. There's no no going back. So yeah, no, thank you guys.
Yeah, dude, but it made Donald Trump like he was anti-Trump. Everything that came out of Carney's mouth about the unwavering support for the Ukrainian people. Ukraine's borders are Canada's borders. Your fight is our fight. You don't hear any of that from the isolationist president, from America's fascist
No.
felon, sexual predator president. What you hear is how can I take advantage of these fucking poor people who are being bombarded, who 20,000 of their children have been stolen from them, being sold online. Like you don't hear any of those things. So, like when you talk to people in Ukraine and you saw what Mark Carney said and stood there on Independence Day with Zelensky in Sophia Square, does that not piss off the people in the White House who have been trying so hard to get the American public climatized to the idea that this isn't our war, we don't need to be there? When Canada's prime minister shows up and says this is our war, we're going to come here, and by the way, boots on the ground, we're not excluding that either. Like these are all things Donald Trump has walked away from. So I wanted to get your opinion on that, how it made the White House feel, and then I want to get into the 30-day plan, which comes from your incredible post. Everybody, never been more important to go and subscribe to Lev Parnas, levparnas.substack.com. Please go and subscribe. Paid subscribers keep it alive, keep him moving forward, and keep him telling the truth where others lie. So, let me tell me a little bit about Trump and what's going on in the White House with the Canada announcement, if you've heard anything. And then, of course, I want to know about the 30-day plan in Ukraine as well.
Yeah, no, Dean, you would think, normal people would be upset with that because that's, they'd want to, like I said, even dictators want to portray something. Donald Trump's on such a mission right now that he doesn't give two shits about who gave what to Ukraine, who's talking, because, I mean, literally today he came out in his press conferences and he's talking about how reiterating that he's giving Ukraine zero, that,
Yeah.
they've given them 300, making up numbers, 350 million. They're not going to give him any more. The deal he's cut, he's going to sell weapons to NATO. And if NATO wants to give it to Ukraine, this is the words he's using. If NATO wants to give it to Ukraine, they could give it to Ukraine. If they don't want to, if they could, because, it's NATO. But as far as the United States is concerned, we are no longer giving Ukraine anything, no support, no help. Instead, he mentioned that, they've gotten over a trillion, I get that now this is a new number, over $1 trillion worth of minerals from Ukraine. And that's just because the American people deserved it. And this is this is the shit that's coming out of his mouth right now. You know what I'm saying to you? So, and that's why it's on the heels. It's so crazy because the Substack I wrote today, literally, got off the phone with somebody, some of my sources when wrote this, and as I wrote this, within a half an hour, he went on and started literally saying the quiet out loud. But the plan is basically to allow Ukraine, play this game for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, back and forth. Putin, as I've reported earlier, and I'm being heard confirmation that is preparing a major onslaught attack onto the Donbass area. Uh, One of the main parts that he hasn't taken over, that they tried to take over in this land swap. If you remember, they were talking about land swap. There's a piece
Yeah.
of the Donbass area. So the plan right now is that Witkoff told Trump that Putin's going to be able to take over that part within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And once they take that part over, they're going to basically, at that point, Trump's going to come in, pretend that he's the savior, put it to Zelensky and force him to, do a ceasefire, a land freeze right where it is. Obviously, neither Zelensky is going to accept it. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't see it. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if he will or he won't or what will happen at that point. But the plan is that if he doesn't accept it at that point, Trump is going to walk away.
What
Not
does walk away mean? What does walk away mean?
Look away, basically take a neutral side. It won't be one that he's attacking one side or the other. He'll be basically saying it's your fight to fight, your neighborhood, your Europe has to deal with it. In the meantime, he's going to start basically just like he's doing with the National Guard, but he's going to start normalizing Russia. In my letter, I write a bunch of names of oligarchs that have been sanctioned, that are not allowed to do business worldwide because of the invasion in 2014 and then 2022. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm hearing that sanctions are going to start getting lifted off of certain people, or off of certain industries, off of certain, and they're going to start normalizing more and more. I joke about it, we talk about it, but I'm hearing that it's not a joke, where Trump really wants Putin here, and Putin, and if that's why he's saying we'll see what happens, during the FIFA games, what's happening. So
It's fucking amazing how the rest of the world dictators use sport washing all the time, right? Like, Saudi Arabia did it with the Live Tour. It sounds like Trump and Putin are cooking up some sport washing at FIFA. I'm very interested to see how the World Cup goes in the United States too, because of the police state and ICE, surprise, surprise, being tapped to lead security at all the World Cup events. By the way, I don't know if you know that, but yeah, that's a
yeah,
true
no,
story.
absolutely. I mean, and that's part of, it's interesting how they're saying it's going to be the safest place, but a lot of these, countries are scared because for their fans,
Mm,
because you have Spanish speaking people going to, because a lot of these people are going to be coming here also tourism. So how do you how as ICE, we hear already stories of people getting taken off the streets, that are visiting the streets because they fit a certain profile.
mhm.
They can't prove that they're here illegal because they were at the wrong place, wrong time. So
Mhm.
how are they gonna, enforce that? So it is crazy. It's, watching all of this play out the way it's playing out. You know what I'm saying to you? Because we're
Yeah.
in full dictatorship, 100%. And when people say it, stop saying it, stop left, stop fear mongering, stop. We're America. We're a better country. Well, you're the first ones that are gonna, go crazy. You're the first ones that are gonna take a shit. Excuse me for my language, but because you're not realizing that it's full authoritarianism, 100%. That's what we're living. He's already, went against the Constitution, went against the rights, habeas corpus out the door. I mean, basically, just think about what he did to. I just want everybody to think. I mean, I know we joke around, but I want something extremely serious. I mean, and the media doesn't report on, doesn't joke, and they joke about it because the way he says it. But this was, if I've been around the mafia for a majority of my life, and not just the mob, but mob oligarchs, some of the most powerful people in the world, and I've seen how these people talk, intimidate, and it's all wording, it's all messaging, it's all meaning. And what he did today was just incredible. The way he looked into that television, looked at Chris and said about Chris Christie. He basically told him, he said, "You got away with murder." He basically told him that if you don't shut up, I'm going to come after you. He
Mhm.
basically gave him his last warning.
Mhm.
And I promise you, folks, one of two things is going to happen. You heard it here first. Either you are not going to see Chris Christie on TV anymore talking about Donald Trump, or you are going to see a major investigation opened up into Chris Christie. It's one of two things. Today was his basically final warning. Today was his final when he sat there and looked at him when he, and the way the reason why he calls people names and says certain things is the media doesn't get also because he called them a slob, because he started off with the media is like, he's joking, he's insulting him, let's not take anything else. It's part of the strategical part, because he doesn't want, if the message wasn't for the media, he doesn't want us running and talking about it, and that message was for Chris Christie.
Yeah, same with Pritzker
So
today. He went after Pritzker
oh,
today, and he warned him, and then he called him fat at the end of it. Said he needs to spend more time in the fucking gym. Like, exactly the same thing, same playbook. To your point.
yeah, yeah, and he does it like with Newsom. Oh, you mean new scum? Like right
Yeah.
away. He right away. It's like it's that break the ice type of thing. It's right away when you ask the question, he destroys your question and makes it look so silly that either you laugh or right away your brain clicks off and you're like, okay, this is bullshit. But then the message, and that's one of the things what I do in my Substack, which is I translate his conversations.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like I do, Dean. I swear to
Mm.
God, I really feel like, because sometimes I feel like I'm not reporting on it. Definitely, but I'm literally translating the way he talks, the way he moves, the way his hand gestures. Because a lot of that, like even you see, sometimes I talk, I also talk. I got the hand gestures, the way, because it's part of that life where you live and you see it. So I know him very, very well, and I watch, so that's why today was very, very scary message for Chris Christie, especially after what we saw happen.
To John
Right.
Bolton.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you broke that. It was I want to talk about that as he attacks his political enemies, as he attacks his former NatSec advisor John Bolton on Friday, had his house swatted, sent the FBI in, Kash Patel screaming no one's above the law, Donald Trump saying I didn't know anything about it, but I could totally do it and I could order it if I wanted to, and John Bolton's a piece of shit. Like, I mean, it was truly fucking incredible. But you pulled over at the side of the road and went live on Substack, and you sort of explained it. Is this retribution, or is this distraction, or is this kill two birds with one stone, or is he just itching to get people warmed up to the idea that they could fucking be next?
Well, it's a combination, I think, of four things. Not only the fourth thing you missed was that actually have people go away, actually get your satisfaction of that bloodthirsty revenge of he can't wait for that first sack of lamb, the
Mm.
sacrificial lamb to fall, because for all the pain they caused them, for all the, and one of the guys, it's going to be a race between three guys that are going to go down first. It's going to be what I'm hearing. It's Bolton, Comey, and Schiff.
Adam Schiff, yeah, he's itching to he's itching to
Yeah,
arrest
yeah,
Adam
yeah,
Schiff.
yeah. Sure. He just, I mean, I'm hearing that he might be the next one to fall. It's between, and it's either him and Comey. I mean, you're going to see more because they're already investigate, DOJ, I mean, grand juries sequestered on some of these, and we're not. And the interesting part is not we're not talking about, because some of these guys have double, but like Schiff has double the problem. He, like Letitia James, I know somebody said there, but Letitia James, that's mortgage, and Schiff has mortgage also. But Schiff also has, now they're going after him leaking and classified document, classified information, classified. It's an interesting statute, because it's like wire fraud. It gets a broad statute that gives them a lot of power and a lot of way to interpret things the way they want to interpret it.
Mm,
Saying to you, and
yeah.
that's by certain statutes. And I think when you start hitting leaking information, documents, Yeah, I think you're getting into that world where it's very easy, just like they try to do with me and they do with others. Just turn around, say it's national security, boom, they
Mm.
seal it. See you later. Have some judge, and nobody's ever gonna know what they're doing and how they're doing it and what's being taking place. Maybe 50 or 100 years from now, if it ever gets unsealed, like the JFK, like he's promising to do with the Epstein files.
Yeah, dude, and there's a great fucking pivot, right? Like on Friday, Zev and I are doing a podcast, and we're talking about how we're not going to get the Epstein files. As we're podcasting, as we're doing a Substack live, you were on, I think, with the lads. You had a banger with Malcolm and Cohen. By the way, I watched it after and I put it out. It was so fucking good. But we started to go through Ghislaine Maxwell's edited testimony with Todd Blanche and those fucking softball questions, and then we got news that they delivered files to Congress, 97% of which are on the public record, and the other 3% so heavily redacted and inconsequential it didn't matter. Oversight Committee member Ruben Gallegos like, this is a fucking joke. Summer Lee said the same thing. So, like, the cover up went nuclear on Friday. I'm going to cover it in the five stack with Zev a little later on this afternoon. But what are you hearing from your sources, not just about that insane Ghislaine Maxwell interview that was 10 hours of pure bullshit? I barely knew the guy. I only saw him in certain social settings. We were never really at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump's a gentleman. Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy. I forget who was on that plane. Like, the sudden amnesia was truly fucking remarkable. When you coupled it with what the Oversight Committee didn't get, the criminal conspiracy here is is nuclear at best. It is absolutely insane for anybody who's followed any of this to believe that Ghislaine Maxwell, who, if you're to believe other reports, offered to give dirt to Biden for immunity on Trump. Offered to give Trump dirt to Biden for immunity, and then when Biden leaves, she flips the script, does the same thing, looks to absolve Donald Trump. But your thoughts on what didn't happen on Friday and what did? I think that this is probably the biggest story in the world that is sort of getting put underneath the rug by all the other insane shit that is going on around the man today.
Oh, 100%. And, I've been writing about it for the past several weeks, right before the whole, this was part of why even Putin and Trump got together in Alaska. It was a diversion from, remember the dinner that we broke that was supposed to happen? This was a setup for, the team. A lot of people don't remember, but I wrote about how they added, it was like they were building the team. First, you had, what's his name? Todd Blanche, who was Trump's attorney, go sit down with Maxwell. But what you don't know, and they don't talk about, the media doesn't explain to you, and this is the sad part, is he didn't just go sit down with Maxwell. Before he did, he had lawyer proffers going on with her attorney, Marcus. So prior to her sitting down, that her attorney and Blanche went back and forth and already had her testimony worked out. That is why that's why they taped her. Do you think in your right mind he would have walked in there without knowing what the answers are to those questions and sat down and started taping and then leaving
No.
evidence? It was all part of the choreograph. Like I say, it was a show. It was a theatrics. And
Mm.
that's why even in the first day, just think about it, there was no questions to get to the bottom of the truth, to get for the victims, to get to find out to where the criminality led. Most of the questions, and I think 23 of them in the very first day, had to do with Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Did you see Donald Trump? Did Donald Trump do this? Did Donald Trump do that? Was Donald Trump ever there? Was Donald Trump ever that? Oh no, Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a great guy. My father introduced me to Donald Trump. Me and Donald Trump, we go way back. Oh, Donald Trump, perfect gentleman. Great, he's the president now. Love him. All of this. No, I mean, no pushback. No, I mean,
Zero.
folks, let me just put it to you this way. If they think that American people are stupid enough not to realize that they watch enough television,
Mm.
know that that doesn't happen in real life. I sat in on those. Trust me, that doesn't happen in real life. You get grilled. You get, just think about what he said to her. They remind you every time you answer a question. There's an FBI agent sitting there because I was in those proffers. They remind you, you lie. That's another 5 years. So before you answer, make sure and if you lie to us, that's another 5 years all day. Like, that's that, like, they constantly, because they're there to get to the bottom of the truth.
And don't
Look,
they challenge you with your answers too? I didn't hear Todd Blanche challenge her once.
there was no oh, you never knew Donald Trump. Thank you. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
Checklist. And look, let's call a spade a spade. When is the media and when are people going to stop asking like that? And I know they try to be sarcastic, but let's stop being sarcastic. Let's start. Because some people don't realize it and understand. Why do we talk about what we don't know the reason? Why did they move her over to that facility?
Club Fed?
Yeah, because she said that Donald Trump was there. That's why. That's the reason. That's it. There was no because of it. There's nothing else. And then they brought in James Comer. James Comer is, as I said, Trump's guy. He's trying to whitewash this thing before the Congress gets back in session in September.
Yeah.
He's trying to already get this thing whole laid out, played out, covered up. There's nothing burger. There's nothing to talk about. So when they get back, I promise you, those Republicans that were gung ho on opening up these investigations, all of a sudden,
Right in line. They'll be right in line.
you're gonna start seeing. Yeah, you're gonna start seeing that, because now they're gonna say, "Wait a second, we heard Maxwell. What else do we need to hear?" I mean, the evidence they sent over, most of it is all the same stuff. There's really nothing new. Like, I mean,
It's effectively what the evidence that they got is
and
effectively
probably
the binder that they put out that they gave those right wing influencers, where they walked out and they're like, "Oh, we can fucking get this online. Where's the real stuff?" Like, that's exactly 33,000 pages of shit that we already know. To your point, yes.
and that's why what we're watching is part of theatrics. You know what I'm saying to you? But now, like I said, the theatrics are it's becoming less. The theatrics are becoming less cover up, and more now we're watching it start to actually go into effect certain things.
Mhm.
Like the National Guard, like actually, start a criminal prosecution and the retribution list. Because, a lot of people say, stop saying retribution list. I remember when Trump came into office, everybody, I was sounding the alarm saying, my sources are telling me that they actually saw. I remember 6, 7 months ago that people saw actual lists being passed around, different lists, different names, different people, different, lists, that there were actually lists being made up of, retribution, revenge, whatever you want to call them. And I remember how the media just shut it down. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, stop. What are you saying? Nobody, he's just coming up." And this was all a setup. He took some time, and this is another thing people don't understand. They say, it takes time. He couldn't come in on day one, go after everybody, because day one, there was still a lot of good people that served in our DOJ and FBI and all of these. They needed to go in and purge all of this. They need to go in and put loyalists in. They need to go and put judges. They need to go put their judges in. They need to go put in their attorneys, state attorney generals, attorney generals. They need to put their yeah, I mean, now, once they've got everybody in motion, now it's game time, folks.
Mm.
Now it's let's raid Bolton, because now you see how it goes, and it's not. See, people think they're stupid. They think, oh, they Bolton got looked at everything. No, 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 because you're forgetting. They control the CIA, the FBI. They know everything about anybody of us. If you by actually met somebody or by actually sat in a restaurant with somebody, they could turn that into whatever they want. So now, if Bolton was now somewhere where he shouldn't have been in the past 5 years, the CIA knows everything. So now
Yeah.
you got Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe coming down and saying, "Wait a second. I think that let's take a look at this. Bolton was in Qatar in 2020. What was he doing there? Let's raid his house." You know what I'm saying to you? You understand where I'm getting at, boy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
You know,
cock up, dude. Like, and that's the thing is, I didn't doubt for a second, and I don't think anybody did. And John Bolton, to his credit, came out, I believe, this morning, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm still going to do my punditry work. I'm still going to go after his policies. He doesn't scare me. I'm not that concerned. I didn't do anything wrong. And they said that that was about national security documents or secret documents that he used for his book. And apparently, the thing that pissed Trump off the most, this is what I've heard from my sources, and you might be able to clarify it. The reason why he sent the FBI after Bolton is for two reasons. Number one is that he won't shut up, calling him stupid and a fucking moron, referring to him like that's the best I've ever heard as far as the name goes for him. Rex Tillerson said it, called him a fucking moron. And so he continually embarrasses him. But in his book, the thing that Trump took the biggest issue with is how Bolton outed Trump for a question that Trump asked him once, where he's like, "Hey, John Bolton, isn't Finland in Russia?" And Bolton's like, "The fuck are you talking talking about?"
Yeah, just like one of the things he's pissed at me is in our audio is he asked me, Ukraine has oil. It's a recording, so you don't have to take my word for it. You'll hear it. We're sitting there at dinner, we're having a conversation. I tell him how great, he just got javelins, and he looks at me and he turns at me and he goes, "Wait a second, Ukraine has oil?" And everybody in the room started, yeah, like it's the size of Texas. It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
It's even funnier when it comes from someone like you who physically told him Ukraine has oil, and he was shocked to find out there's black gold underneath the ground almost everywhere.
now he's taking it. Now he's trying to take it from them.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now we fast forward, and what is it, like 6 years later? He's realized now 6 years later he wants to take their oil now or their minerals. This guy is incredible.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. Not just the retribution tour, but what he's so angry about is people telling the truth about how legitimately stupid he is and how clueless he is about world politics, about geography, about minerals, about fucking basic geography. Like, dude, any village idiot would, if you said to him, "Hey, dude, where's Finland? Like, what country is Finland in?" They'd probably say 99 out of 100 people would go, "Oh, it's its own country." Or if he said to him, "Hey, do you know that Ukraine is mineral rich with natural gas and oil and rare minerals?" 99 out of 100 people will go, "Yeah, probably. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." He was surprised by both of those things.
Yeah, no, he was definitely surprised, and
I mean, it's funny when it's until it's not, and it's slowly
But you know,
becoming not very funny.
but you know what, Dean? Like I remember back, like some of these guys, like some of these old school mobsters back in the day, like when I was a kid growing up to watching them, and like they were powerful, but they were powerful like in our community, like
Yeah.
but we didn't know that because in our world, our community, our like 2, 3 blocks was the world,
Mhm.
saying you. But thinking back, like remember that, like some of them were just as fucking stupid, and I swear to God, they would have no idea where Ukraine was on the map, or like they'd make themselves that's why I compare Donald Trump to one of because it's all fake it till you make it, saying to you, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter on what level. It's like, yeah, like that's why he calls himself the best in everything. He's the smartest. He knows the best of it. Like he knows grass better than anybody in the world. Like that's
Yeah, that was a beauty from last week too. We didn't get to part of the weekend roundup where he's like, "I love grass. We're gonna put grass everywhere, sprinklers, grass." And by the way, nobody knows more about grass than I do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like an average gardener knows more about fucking grass than you do.
Meanwhile, Nina, the best part, like somebody that loves grass so much, somebody that wants to conserve the parks, grass. What did he do? He destroyed the rose garden to clean
Yeah.
all the grass. The best
Yeah.
tiles. I get
Yeah.
the best tiles, the best marble tiles. I get
The
the
be-
best marble tiles.
I got the best golf
I like grass, but
umbrellas.
I like
Yeah.
marble tiles better. Italian marble tiles better than grass. They're
Dude, he did the same thing with the flagpole. Remember when he put those unsightly flagpoles up on White House grounds? And he's like, "We're raising a flag. Nobody knows about flags more than me. I have the best flags. And these, if you put it up wrong, it's going to fall down. Nobody knows more about installing flags than me. Just want to let you know." He did the same thing with the ballroom. $200 million ballroom he's going to put in. He's like, "Nobody knows ballrooms more than me." I'm like, We could go a lot of different places with that, Donnie. We really could. We really, really could. It's amazing to watch. I mean, he just doesn't slow down. And part of me, and I wanted to say this, like, I know you hate the man. I know that he ruined your life and sent you to jail for a long time. And I know that you are now on the other side of this. But when you look at him as someone who was his former associate, and you see the craziness, but then you see him continually profit from the craziness. You see him slowly turn the screws so that he can continue to steal from taxpayers, to institute police states in the United States, destroy your home country of Ukraine while continually profiting from this thing. I have a stat that I could be wrong. You can bear it out for me, Lev. Um, he's 40% of his wealth has come from the last 6 months, 7 months. Is that correct?
I think more even, more than 40%, dude. What I'm here, if I mean, just from what I heard, again, what do you consider his wealth? I mean, his inflated wealth. I mean, because he considered himself a billionaire, while he was in bankruptcy. So it's
Well,
what
let's be fair. John Barron told everybody he was a billionaire. Remember John Barron, where he called up and pretended to be someone who's like, Trump's the richest, and they're like, "Is this Trump?" Nope,
that,
he's the richest. Bye, and hung
that's
up
what I
the
said.
phone.
Let me put it to you this way: Donald Trump family has made more money in the past 6 months than he's ever seen made, or what's it called? So whatever those numbers are, it's nothing compared to the past 6 months. Yes, maybe on paper he was considered very wealthy because of this Truth Social platform or whatever, some of those stuff. What he's but he never cashed out those like he's cashing out on. We're talking about actually this cryptocurrency racket that he jumped on. Let me tell you, not only did it help him win the presidency, but the money he's pulling in, and that's another thing where
Untraceable money.
oh
Yeah.
my God. And and that's what they don't even talk about when it comes to his relationship. And that's some of the stuff I'm gonna get into later on in the next week or so. As you're gonna start seeing the relationship with Russia open up, you're gonna see some of that where real cryptocurrency investments into some of Trump's company were coming from. That you're not hearing about, because as I always talk about, it's not what they're reporting about this guy and this guy wants this, and the Twinkle brothers did this, and this guy put in money there. But you've never heard the interesting part. Just think about it. You have not heard not one Russian name, not one Russian oligarch, like not even like speculated to having to do with crypto and Donald Trump in the past.
Mm, mm, mm. Oh, lost your audio. You there? Okay, you're
Just
back.
not even speculation. You know what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, dude, it's a criminal racket. It is criminal enterprise. He is a mobster. He is a gangster. He is the most evil piece of shit on the planet, and he is currently ruining the United States. And nothing makes me happier than sitting here breaking it down with someone who knows the people, is in the rooms, still has sources in the White House, in MAGA, who likes to come here and be the Trump whisperer, be the guy that has the ability to translate what he says to what he means. And you mentioned that earlier, and I cannot stress this enough. And I love to read, but I like to read sources that I trust. Lev Parnas is the most trusted source on Substack when it comes to trying to understand intention and context around what Donald Trump is doing, what he's all about. He's an American hero who day after day after day puts himself on the line to build a community, to build the resistance. He is the best Substack follow you can find. He and his son do some of the most incredible work when it comes to helping people understand what's going on around them, because that's what, as you point out, that's what Donald Trump wants people to feel is chaotic. He wants you to think, oh my God, well, maybe he is doing something right, and he's got 15 different balloons in the air. And what these guys do, specifically Lev, is he's able to break it down and see the forest through the trees and present it to you in a way that you truly can understand and count on. Subscribing is very important. Sharing this is important. Hitting those hearts, sharing with that little box in the arrow, getting this out to as many people as humanly possible. every single time I do this, I'm not just amazed that you continue to do this with a smile on your face, but that you do it from such an incredibly altruistic place. Your book is incredible. Shadow Diplomacy. Didn't tell you this, but I read it last week. Absolutely beautiful. Incredible account of not just your life, but your work with the Trump regime and Giuliani and what you've learned from your experience. And again, everybody, if you want to have like a Trump translate, you got Google Translate, you want Trump translate, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Paid subscribers do an incredible job of keeping people like Lev, people like myself moving forward so that we can sort of break this down, popularize it for you. People like Cohen, Midas, of course, and Midas just launched in Canada. Couldn't be happier for them with my friend Charlie Angus. Yeah, yeah, it's cool. And people like Malcolm Nance. Again, I mean, there's a guy I really want to talk to when it comes to Trump's plan or some kind of military understanding, because he was going off prior to this about how, hey, he's probably going to plan an invasion of Greenland or Canada. And so guys like that have the ability to tell you the truth because they're not just in the rooms, but they're on these phones that we don't have. So please subscribe. Make sure if you're one of my subscribers, you subscribe to Lev's Substack immediately. Free or paid, doesn't matter. Paid is an incredible way for us to stay alive, stay focused, and keep bringing you the information from Canada or places unknown in Florida or wherever you are. I'm not going to give it up. I'm sure people know where you are. But I'm just so grateful that I get a chance to do this with you every Monday, my friend. I really am. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, Dean, I love you, bro. Thank you, and I love Canada. To the Canadian people, love you, and thank you for all the support on behalf of me, on behalf of Alexander, on behalf of Boys from Ukraine. Love remembers. We're just the reason where I'm able to do this is because you guys are truly an extension of my voice, and I'm not doing it because it's a reality show. We're doing it because in reality, we need to save our country. We need to save our democracy. We need to save and get a free world back because this is really not just Donald Trump. This is a whole movement going all over the world that if we don't stop it, it will, eventually, spread out like a wildfire. Like they say in a cancer, you got to cut it out, cut the whole thing. Don't let it spread. So I want to thank every single one of you. Just a quick note. This is going to be a very big week. I didn't plan it out this way, but just because of certain things that are happening, certain things I've been working on, I'm going to use Dean's show to announce some of the things first. So this week, stay tuned, and you definitely want to subscribe, not to miss. We're setting up, we're going to have a live interview. First time ever, me and Mary Trump, me and Mary are going to do a live on Substack where we're going to talk about some really interesting stuff about her uncle and their grandfather and others in the Trump family that, we both have a kind of a view that don't want to miss. Also, on Wednesday at 11 o'clock, I will be doing a live Substack with Miles Taylor. Miles Taylor is, for you that don't know, he's the gentleman that used to work for Donald Trump, the
He's the guy that
whistleblower.
wrote the adults in the room letter. Yeah, yeah.
That's in the room letter that Donald Trump actually signed an executive order to open up an investigation into him. He's on the list. He's part of the retribution tour, and he's speaking out. He will be on my Substack at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. We're going to be talking, so you definitely want to listen to that one. Donald Trump is going to be listening to both of them, so you want to be listening to both of them. Another one we're going to have this week, and this week is a doozy, is Olivia Troy. Olivia Troy, she was
Oh,
the
she's
national
awesome.
security advisor for Vice President Pence at the time.
Mhm.
She's my dear friend. Me and Olivia have been fighting the good fight for a long time. She's actually being sued personally by Kash Patel, who is our FBI director, and she is also on that retribution list along with me and Miles. And we're just working out the times and dates with Olivia. She's going to be on live, so you don't want to miss that. And then we're working on with me and Adam Kissinger to have Adam back and put something together with Adam towards the end of this week. So you don't want to miss the show. And this is still, obviously we still have our, Unleash with Michael and Malcolm and Voice from Ukraine with Oleg, with Alexander. But this is going to be a special week with some really big big live Substack with some information that you don't want to miss. So definitely want to subscribe, definitely want to follow, spread the message. We're building more than just a movement, folks. This became as a community. We've turned into a family. It's become a movement, and now we have become the resistance. This is the line. This is the resistance. So yeah, everybody join the resistance, because it doesn't matter if you're in Canada, if you're in Germany, if you're in Australia, if you're in America. We're all on the same team, because we're fighting for freedom, we're fighting for democracy, we're fighting for humanity. So God bless every single one of you. Dean, you're the man. Love you, bro. Have a good
Love you
week.
too, pal.
If anything breaks, we'll go on during the week. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday.
All right, my
And
friend.
views. I'll see you on Love Remembers. And later on today, we have, don't forget, Voice from Ukraine and some breaking stuff. So see you then.
Thanks, pal. We'll talk to you soon. Lev Parnas, ladies and gentlemen. Lev Parnas' Substack is available anywhere. Absolutely anywhere on Substack. And he is easily one of my favorite follows and a good buddy of mine. And he is part of the resistance. He's part of that anti-Trump rebel alliance, if you're all Substackers or Star Wars fans or Substackers who love Star Wars. Either way. He's doing incredible work, just incredible work. And this is a great week to subscribe for him. He's got some big swinging you-know-whats in the Rebel Alliance Cracker Factory that are going to be joining him this week between Troy, Kinzinger, etc. Make sure that you go and subscribe, because no one does it better. Nobody. And you know what? It amazes me about Lev is the authenticity. It's the humility. It is the nonstop effort. And that's what it takes. That's what it's going to take for all of us. I said this so many times, is that none of this is possible without you. Yes, we do this for you. Yes, we are powered by you. But we do this for you because we are you. We are concerned. We have platforms, so we have the ability to share messages with you, to connect with you, to affirm your information. And subscribing to and sharing these Substacks is going to be a lifesaver for a lot of people. We take our jobs very seriously. We take being part of the Rebel Alliance, anti-Trump, pro-democracy resistance very, very seriously. And we do so again, and I say this all the time, is because we're you. We're you, but we just happen to have a platform and conversations and relationships where we can reflect your concern. And then we can go out there and we can gather that information and we can feed it to you, because you're not getting it from mainstream media. You're not getting it from mainstream media in Canada. If you're Canadian, you're not getting it from mainstream media at all in the United States of America. No one gets under the hood anymore. And if they do, it's performative. Guys like Lev get under the hood. We get under the hood. 5-Stack Live at 3 o'clock. We're going to get underneath the hood with a Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein expert, investigative reporting genius, Zev Shalev. That'll be right here on my 5-Stack, on my Substack. So make sure you go and subscribe. There should be an invite in my timeline. So please go and do that, because that's the most important thing to us. Being able to get underneath the hood and share what we find with you. Because you're not getting that information. So subscribe, free or paid, doesn't matter. Share, like, and come for a ride with us, because we're doing this with you. We're doing this for you in as much as we're doing it for ourselves. Thank you very much for taking some time. About 1,500 people chose to stop by today. Couldn't be more grateful for all of your time. I've said it before. I'm stealing it from Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah, big fan. You can take my shit, just don't take my time, because my time is way more invaluable. I can go get more shit. And I know your time is valuable. So when I see, 1,500 people in here that spend an hour with myself and my friends trying to give you context, trying to give you intention, and trying to get underneath the hood of what we're experiencing, which is a car crash of fascism, and the takeover of the country that I love, the United States of America. I love the United States of America. I love Americans. What we're seeing is not American. Donald Trump is the most un-American American in America today. And his cabal of idiots, same thing. They don't represent you. They're not your president. They're your masters, and they know it. So stay with us. Share, subscribe. Let's get to 33,000 subscribers. If you could do that, that'd be great. I think we just crossed 32 this morning, which would be lovely. We've got 50% off annual subscriptions. Never pay more. Founding members never pay again. So please go and do that if you can. And if you can't, again, just share, subscribe. We're just grateful that you're part of our community as we continue to grow. Have a wonderful day. See you at 3 o'clock for the 5 stack. It's going to be a good one. Zev Shalev and I will break it all down. We've got a big old Ghislaine Maxwell live fest to talk about the Epstein files in more detail. And we'll get into Canada's earth-shaking announcement in Kyiv this weekend. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Stay close. Fight for democracy. Stay together. We will see you 3 o'clock. Bye, friends.